Very good afternoon, students. Today we will see the next part of the theory of earthquake resistant design. That is the building system with both shear wall or base frames and the moment resisting frame system. So, as shown on the screen, it is clear that shear wall can be provided as a lateral load resisting system or a brace system. If you see the plan, it can be provided on the external periphery of the building as well as also in the internal part of the structure. The basic function of providing the shear wall is to resist the lateral horizontal forces which are developed because of an earthquake. Next is, while designing the building system with both shear wall or brace frame and moment resisting frame, the value of R, R value for the building can be taken as those given under the dual system only if both the condition below satisfied, else the building system does not qualify the value of R. So the R is nothing but a response reduction factor that we have already seen in the last lecture. So these value must be carefully taken from the IS 1893-2002 as per the requirement. So the two systems are designed to resist the total design force in the proportion and their stiffness considering their interaction at the floor level, and the moment resisting frames are designed to independently resist at least 25% of the total design force, that is the design seismic base shear. So these design seismic base shear and other parameter we will see in our next part, that when we will cover our numericals. So let us see what is the contribution of the vertical motions. So the design acceleration spectrum for the vertical motions were required may be taken as a 2/3 of the total design horizontal acceleration. So whatever the horizontal acceleration will obtain as per IS 1893-2002, so if you take the 2/3 of the same value, then you will get the vertical motions of the building. So this is the formula which is available in IS 1893 to calculate the design seismic base shear, and which is noted by VB, and VB is defined as the AH into W. W is the lump mass seismic weight, and AH is the design horizontal acceleration, which can be calculated as Z by 2 SA by G I by R into W. So this formula, definition, terminologies all are available in IS code, and the values are also available in tabular form. So as per the condition of the building site requirement, we will put this value and we can get the value of VB, and accordingly we can calculate the earthquake force. So this is the 5% spectra for rocky, medium and soft soil. So we can use this graph while calculating the value of R, and SA by G. Then this is the damping percentage we will already given. These all are available in IS 1893-2002. Then next is the buildings. To perform well in earthquake, a building should be possesses 4 main attributes, namely a simple regular configuration and adequate strength, stiffness and ductility. So these are the 4 basic pillars by which the building can resist the earthquake forces. So based on the advantages, the deficiency, you can say that the building can be classified into following categories. First is the plane or the plan irregularities. Second is the elevation irregularities, then mass irregularities, stiffness irregularities and torsional irregularities. So this is one of the most prominently asked question which is always asked in your examination about what are the major irregularities developed because of an earthquake. So these theoretical parts are available in your IS 1893-2002 in a very systematic way with a proper diagram. So you can refer this theory question with reference to this IS 1893 2002. So let us see one by one. Okay, first is plan irregularities. So irregularity type and description. What about the plan irregularity? It means that the torsional irregularity. We know that when we design the building is subjected to, or if we consider a particular, suppose a frame structure, so it is basically subjected to bending moment, shear force, and third and most important is a torsion. So torsional irregularity play a very vital role, okay, in the earthquake engineering. So to be considered when a floor diaphragm are rigid in their own plane in relation to the vertical structural elements that resist the lateral forces, okay, and the torsional irregularity shall be considered to exist when the maximum story drift computed with the design eccentricity at one end of the structure transferred to an axis is more than 1.2 times the average of the story drift at the two ends of the structure. So this is the example. Okay, suppose there is a rectangular, this is a plan is there, delta 1 and delta 2 are the left and right irregularities are formed, okay, or the displacement will be formed because of the torsional effect. Okay, so if delta 2 is greater than 1.2 times delta 1 plus delta 2, okay, then in that case the structure will become torsionally irregular. Next is plan irregularities. So re-entrained corner is the best example. Configuration, plane configuration of the structure and its lateral forces resisting systems contain re-entrained corners where both projections of the structures beyond the re-entrained corners are greater than 15% of its plan dimension, so in the given direction. So this is the example. So if you see the diagram, okay, so at the top if you see that the building is having re-entrained corners, okay, in each of the plan at all the corners there is a re-entrained corner. So these re-entrained corners are very critical as far as the earthquake is concerned. Okay, so what are the criteria? Let us see. A1 is the shorter side and L is the overall length. Okay, so if A1 is greater than 0.15 times L1, then it becomes a re-entrained corner. So this kind of the irregularities, or you can say that the plans of the building must be avoided. Okay, then diaphragm discontinuity. This is another irregularities. The diaphragm with abrupt discontinuities or the variation in the stiffness, which includes having a cutout. Okay, suppose there is a slab cutout is there, open areas are there which is greater than 50% of the total gross area, okay, which is enclosed in the diaphragm area, or change in the effective diaphragms. Okay, so these stiffness of more than 50% from one story to next story. So let us see the example. This is the example. So in diaphragm discontinuity we must concern that there should be a minimum cutout or minimum opening in the slab. So this is the best way to prevent the plan irregularities in the structures. Next is the effect of diaphragm. So there are the following effect: lateral loading, rigid diaphragm, flexible diaphragm, and semi-rigid diaphragm. So these are the basic effect which takes place on the diaphragm. So basically diaphragm is nothing but a rigid slab. Okay, in structural terminology the diaphragm is defined as a solid slab. Okay, diaphragm is nothing but a slab. Okay, so diaphragm is a floor diaphragm shall be considered to be flexible if it is deformed more than 1.5 times than the average displacement of the re-entrained diaphragm. So the RC monolithic slab beam floor can be taken as a rigid diaphragm. So this is the example. Okay, diaphragm discontinuity is there. Then plan irregularity, next type is out of plane offset. So discontinuity in the lateral force resisting path, such as out of plane offset of the vertical elements, is also the type of plan irregularities. So this is the best example. This is the elevation. If you see the diagram on the screen, this is the elevation, and offset is nothing but a cantilever projection. In elevation you can see that there is an offset of cantilever projection of about more than, if suppose if it is more than 10 feet. So it is also a one type of out of plane offset. Okay. So next is a non-parallel system. The vertical element resisting the lateral force are not parallel to or symmetric about the major orthogonal axis of the lateral force resisting elements. So this is the example of non-parallel system. So as shown on the screen, it is clear that the building is not in a regular configuration. The plan of the building is not in a regular configuration. It is a somewhat zigzag, or it is like a trapezoidal type of a configuration. So this kind of non-parallel system is also avoided in earthquake engineering. Then irregularity, vertical irregularities. Okay, so this part we will cover in our next lecture.